In 1926, Dr. Sidney Long and a group of his friends founded Norfolk Naturalists Trust. Known today as Norfolk Wildlife Trust, for 90 years it has been protecting our rare wildlife. Visiting its nature reserves and meeting its wardens and volunteers, we'll be exploring its 90-year history. This is Wild Norfolk. In 1949, two of the finest Broadland nature reserves, covering nearly 500 acres, were donated to Norfolk Wildlife Trust by war hero Lieutenant Colonel H.J. Cater. These were Ranworth and Cockshoot Broads in the Bure Valley. With his donation, Colonel Cater insisted that Norfolk Wildlife Trust respect the King's right to shoot on the Broads one day each year. Otherwise, he was anxious that no shooting should take place and that the public should only be allowed to visit in rowboats from February to October to avoid disturbance to waterfowl. He specifically requested that the Norfolk Wildlife Trust Council give no publicity to his generous gift. Ranworth Broad had long been known as the site of an important winter roost for waterfowl and also as a breeding site for waterfowl. What's more, it was a stronghold, one of the last for the rare swallowtail butterfly, and in particular for the very rare black form of the swallowtail. The British swallowtail is a unique subspecies, Papiliomacaon britannicus, which as a caterpillar will feed on just one plant. A fussy specialist of these fens, and it's growing just here. The plant is milk parsley. In 1976, Norfolk Wildlife Trust turned 50, and celebrations included Her Majesty the Queen coming to Ranworth to open the unique Floating Broads Wildlife Centre. Present on the day were all of Norfolk's wildlife dignitaries, including the famous wildlife painter Jack Harrison, who presented a painting to Her Majesty, and Philip Ware, who founded the Otter Trust with his wife Jean. He arrived with a bandaged hand, and Prince Philip stopped him and said, "I imagine you've been bitten by an otter." And it was true. To find out what projects are underway here today, I'm meeting Adam Pimble, Warden of the Reserves in the Bure and Ant. So Adam, these are your tern rafts?
Yes, that's right, Nick. Yes, so what we have here on Ranworth Broad is 4 artificial tern rafts. So what we class as sort of inland rafts. That to help the common terns that come over to the UK, particularly around the sort of North Norfolk coastline here, places like Clyde, Blakeney, Winterton. Those areas are under pressure. The birds need areas to expand. So we've created these havens here on Ranworth Broad.
Excellent. And how many pairs come to nest here?
Well, it varies depending on year, but I mean this year we had 45, can be up to 50 pairs, but like I say, it all depends on the birds that return and the weather, etc.
And this year's chicks have just fledged?
Yes, literally a week ago they're all up and gone, so that's why we can be so close to them right now.
Excellent. And tell me about this boundary that's around the edge of it. What's that for?
Yeah, sure. So we've modified these over the years, Nick, and one of the things we found was predation was an issue from a lot of the things that are cute and cuddly, i.e. the otter. So we've had to put these extended sides on, only one single chain now, so the otter actually physically can't get from the water up onto the raft to protect the
You're
terns.
protecting one special species from another special species that lives here at Ranworth.
Well, they've got plenty of fish to feed on though.
As we've heard, Ranworth is a fabulous place for a diversity of wildlife, but by the 1950s, water quality was suffering right across the Broads landscape as a result of agricultural nitrates running into the water and phosphates from sewage from pleasure boats. The whole of the landscape was suffering, and with it all of its wetland wildlife, which can't cope with high nutrients in the water. Behind the bank of trees to my right is Cockshoot Broad, another Norfolk Wildlife Trust reserve, which has been the subject of a remarkable project to restore water quality and thereby bring back the rare plants and animals which depend on the fresh, clean water of the Broads. Now, Adam, water quality in the Broads seriously declined in the 20th century, didn't it? But there's been quite a lot of activity in the Broads between Norfolk Wildlife Trust, Broad Authority to improve water quality. Tell me some of that.
Yeah, well, indeed, yeah. I mean, along with lots of our other partners like Natural England as well. I mean, actually, where we are here is one of those sort of experiments. So this is what we class as a biomanipulation ring. It was put in by the Broad Authority and ourselves. Basically, there's a fish curtain that goes all the way down to the bed here. So, you know, nothing can get in, fish and things can't get in. It was electrofished, all the fish and everything taken out, put into the Broad. So then we have a nice, clear, fish-free environment. Then beyond that, toilet brushes were put in, lots of them, all stacked up together, creating artificial weed beds. And then things like the little Daphnia, the water fleas that love to eat on the algae, they get in there, they use the bog brushes as their home, the toilet brushes. And then they start to clear the water. The aquatic plants, the seed bed that's down there, gets the sunlight, the nutrients disappears, and then all the plants come up. And it works marvellous. In here, we've had lilies, hornworts, stoneworts, you know, lots of those plants that we wanted again coming back.
The famous Broads underwater flora coming back again. And we just heard today that there's an osprey passing through and he'll be fishing in Cockshoot because he can see to fish.
Yes, indeed. We've got lovely set of trees around the Broad Edge here at Ranworth. Lovely place for it to roost and sit up and feed on the fish that it catches. And as you say, it will be over at Cockshoot, you know, feeding on the fish that are left in there.
Good stuff. Ranworth Broad remains one of the jewels in Norfolk Wildlife Trust's crown, home to thousands of migratory waterfowl, to rare swallowtail butterflies and Norfolk hawker dragonflies, and to migratory birds like the common sandpiper and the osprey that we've seen today. It's loved far and wide, and with Adam and Norfolk Wildlife Trust here, it's in safe hands.